Hi, I'm Anton Stewart, and together with my wife Lisa, we own a unique metaphysical store in New Paltz, New York. We are blessed to live in one of the most beautiful parts of the world, and along with the amazing people in our community, have created our own tradition of Wicca steeped in Welsh Celtic mythology. We invite you to watch our videos, read our books, visit our store, and join us on our incredible journey as we strive to make the world a better place, one witch at a time. This is our life, this is our magic, and this is the Awareness Shop.
So what people need to understand is we're terrible snobs. We're terrible snobs when it comes to our craft and our tradition and Wicca. We're terrible snobs about that. And we're terrible snobs when it comes to the tarot. And the other thing that we're really snobby about is crystals.
Crystals.
Gemstones.
We got a few crystals, truth be said.
So the store currently has just over 130 different kinds of crystals.
That's different kinds, not...
That doesn't mean we're counting something rough, 1, the same thing tumbled, 2, the same thing in a shape, 3. No, 130 different kinds of gemstones.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that really pleases me is when someone comes in with a list, a realistic list. Many times they find every single thing on it and then they don't know what to do. So a long time ago,
budget out the window.
Gosh, probably 20-something years ago now, there was a book called Love is in the Earth, A Kaleidoscope of Crystals.
Gosh, we still have one of those.
We do. They're out of print now, and I think they're a couple of $100 now on the internet. But the thing with that book was, it was thorough for its time. It listed 700 different crystals. However, the vast majority of them were unobtainable.
Unobtainium.
That's what we would say to people. They'd come in and they'd ask for something, and we'd be like, well, I know there's one of those in the Smithsonian Institute. You know?
It's not for sale, unfortunately. So you're just allergic to me. I'm so
That's
sorry.
it. So you have to kind of know what you're looking for. And, you know, many times, because we are snobs, we'll say, well, why are you seeking that crystal? What does it do? And then we can show them alternatives that would work in the same manner. But what I'd like to show you first is our current absolute favorite crystal book.
Oh, this is not a bad book.
All right. It's by Cassandra Eason.
Yeah, pop it down.
Okay.
I can stuff it under
You
here.
can do it under yours?
We have
technology.
We have the
look at
technology
this.
to do this. This is what we
So
need.
this is called the Complete Crystal Handbook. And most everything in here is quite easily obtainable. And if it's not, she has marked it rare. She'll say, you know, hard to find or rare specimen. The other fantastic thing about it is, as he's going to flip through here, it's not in alphabetical order, it's by color.
I hope you guys can see
so
this.
So if you...
actually, let's do it like this.
If you have picked a crystal up, you don't know what it is, the tabs on the edges are color-coded, and you could go and say, well, I'm going to look for this in the blue section. I'm going to look in the green section, whatever. And the pictures are very realistic. They're not like of some gigantic gemstone. You know, if you could picture the difference between finding a diamond in the mine before it's cut versus one that's been made into a beautiful princess cut diamond, you wouldn't recognize them. So these pictures of these minerals are very realistic, and they're what you could find in a good metaphysical store. the other thing is you want to kind of find out if the store that you're purchasing them from or the supplier that you're purchasing them from is ethical.
We're not.
You know, there's a lot going on with our environment, and there's a lot going on with world poverty.
Yep.
So we're not in a business to promote strip mining the earth and leaving everything desolate.
Or child labour.
Or child labor. But in some of these very difficult places to earn a living, like Namibia, their mining is a huge part of their economy. So there needs to be a balance between the economy and the environment.
Indeed, and exploitation.
And
All three things together, yeah.
So we're saying that if you're going to go and begin your crystal collection, find ethical sources. If you go into a store and I have a lot of dyed items, they're probably not really careful about where or whom they're purchasing things from. So you want to look for stores that have good quality crystals that will be able to tell you where that crystal comes from. And a supplier that you could trust. You know, if you think about when you're looking at holistic work, if you were to buy food, you wouldn't buy pesticide, GMO, artificially colored food to put into your body for holistic healing work. You would understand food is medicine and you would try to find the best source. So the same thing is true with gemstones and minerals.
True that.
If you're going to use them in a holistic healing manner, which is primarily what they're for, or to manifest whatever it is you're working for, go to an ethical supplier, one who can tell you how to take care of them, and one who you know has a good supply chain. You know, the two primary vendors that I work with, I have known a very long time. In fact, the one company I started doing business with in the early days of the shop, before they had children, and their son is in grad school. So, you know, and they have miners all over the world, but it's, you know, you want the product to get to you that doesn't come with a lot of
baggage.
Yeah.
We respect the earth. We respect all living things, and we only do business with people that we feel share
our ethic.
That kind of ethic, yeah. So yeah, there are other people, you know, like, I'm not going to name names, but Malwart, for example, who will obtain everything for the lowest possible cost they can, regardless of its provenance, and, you know, they'll sell it out. They print on their boxes, you know, "Ooh, don't destroy this box, it cost the company 30 cents, you know. That's where they're focused on, profit. We're not focused on profit. We've never been focused on profit. We're focused on doing right, and doing right by people, and getting people to improve their lives by focusing on the good stuff, you know?
Right. And we've built relationships with these suppliers where when I call, they'll say to me, "Hey, I just wanted to give you the heads up. Blue lace agate is one of the most common crystals that we would always put into our chakra bags, right? Just want to give you the heads up, Lisa, that the mine has been flooded. It's unsafe, and there'll be no blue lace agate coming out for a while. So the price has gone from whatever per pound to about 100 times that.
$9 a gram.
Yeah, you know,
what?
Which is what we're seeing happen with Moldavite, right? Which brings me to today's
latest craze. Have you noticed, though, that this is where we're saying the good and the bad of social media. So if you will, like, YouTube's the grown-up bit of social media. Facebook is an echo chamber, frankly. Surveillance, advertising, echo chamber. And TikTok is the bit that's down with the kids, but TikTok is absolutely laden with total mistruths and misinformation.
Well, first we had the Moldavite and Libyan desert glass. And everybody and their brother was coming in and asking for that. And we explained, well, Moldavite, there's one pocket. The pocket's empty. We're now selling it by the gram. And, yes. But again, this is one of those, why are you looking for it? Well, TikTok says it can transform my life. Okay. Well, these are the primary things that we know Moldavite does, right? Moldavite is primarily used for astral travel, out-of-body experience, and we list the things and we say we do have other Tectites, meaning that that's a family name, right? That Tectites are meteorites, things that came from outer space.
Well, kind of produced by the impact
of
the
atmosphere. So we show them Tectite, which is a little black stone that looks kind of like molten glass with some pockmarks in it. Moldavite is green, pockmarked glass. Libyan desert glass is yellow, pockmarked glass. But they're not. They're meteorites. And then there are other metallic meteorites. But again, this is like, what do you want it for? We don't need to gouge you and sell you this piece of Moldavite for $300 when for $8 you could have this Tectite that does what it is you're looking for. But no crystal by itself can transform your life. You have to do the work.
It's down to you to transform
your life.
Then
the next big TikTok craze
say no
Carnelian.
Let me see if I can hold this up. There we go. Let's see if we can make sense of
now. If as he turns this around and holds it as close as he can, you're going to see that this is a beautiful crystal.
Apologies, I'm not a hand model, so
it's more gem quality. Carnelian is called sardonyx, and carnelian is a stone of attraction, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So the young girls are coming in for their carnelian to make their boyfriend love them. And TikTok says carnelian is the thing. And we said, we'd like you to have a close look at this because carnelian also looks very embryonic. It looks like an embryo, right? Carnelian is, yes, definitely a stone of attraction, but it's also a pregnancy stone.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right?
So really
if you're going to, we're waiting for the 9-month mark to see, how many babies are born from the carnelian TikTok craze. So that, you need the whole information of what it is. So yeah, you could definitely use carnelian for attraction. We've used it as a fertility stone for a very long time. It corresponds to spleen chakra, the womb for women. In fact, I remember once we were at Cherry Hill, a lady came walking up the walk with a child who was about 8 years old and said, I just want to show you, when you were psychic at the Ren Fair, you gave me carnelian and told me this would help me get pregnant, and here's the results. So they do work. Crystals and gemstones do work. Why wouldn't they? Pharmacies have been trying to make synthetic minerals for years now. So obviously minerals are going to work by the vibration of the minerals that are in them and the color.
It's all down to energy.
Then,
Could take a while to explain this, but it's all down to energy.
Right.
We might give it a go at sort of explaining it.
So, no, I think that is part of our course. We teach a course where you can earn a certificate in chakra crystal energy. So you can become a chakra crystal energy clinician. That is a 16-week course that we love to do in person.
Yeah,
it's much
there's
better
a lot
in
of
person.
practical
It's
work.
very
in
tactile, isn't it? Yeah.
And you like to cook.
And I love cook. Oh, yes. Well,
There's
when we do
usually
the
treats.
chakra meditations, there's a food for each chakra.
Treats.
Kind of pulls in the Ayurvedic eating and things like that. There's treats. All right. So, the newest TikTok craze is the subject of today.
It just broke over the holidays, wasn't it?
Yes.
Apparently, this magical stone can save you or kill psychic vampires.
All right.
What the hell's a psychic vampire?
I will address that. I will talk about that. But first, let's show them this screen.
Here you go then.
This is black tourmaline. This one you can see has a little gem growing on the top. So this is not man-made. It is grown this way, right? This one was also naturally terminated. So we have a lot of this size at the store. We also have some smaller ones that are tumbled. And this is a standing point, but I didn't know how well the little camera would actually pick it up. But we do have a few of these, and we have some black tourmaline palm stones, right? So psychic vampires. What's a psychic vampire?
What's a psychic vampire?
Well, let's think about this. Crystals work from their energy. And black tourmaline, throughout its career, has been known as the force field stone.
Certainly. Big time protection stone.
It's a big time protection stone, and it's going to put up that wall. Now, there's a fantastic book by Dion Fortune called Psychic Self-Defense. And the thing that I want to point out to you that I find very important is a quote from sort of like Eleanor Roosevelt, that nobody can make you uncomfortable unless you allow them to. It's similar to that. It's not a direct quote. And an energy vampire is only going to take your energy if you let them, right? So if somebody presents something to you, if they say hurtful words, those words can only harm you if you take them, right? You're stupid, you're fat, you're ugly, you're blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'll take those in. That is you giving your energy to the vampire, right? So the vampire is the negative energy, whether it's an accuser or someone who's trying to argue with you. The best defense to that is just not to argue, walk away. Whether it's someone who's trying to manipulate you or be some narcissist, don't respond. That's the best reaction you can have, is no reaction, right? Don't feed the negativity.
Don't feed the trolls.
Right. And they, you're going to get these trolls and these negative Nellies and these people who, even people who you can't conceive of how stupid they are. We talked about the guy who came in and said, why did I get vaccinated if I still have to wear a mask? So you don't harm other people, sir. So there are going to be people who are in these, we teach this in the class, in these kind of 7 categories of emotional attack, right? Don't let them unground you. Don't let them cause you physical harm. Don't let them cause your ego harm. Don't let them emotionally harm you. Don't take in their words. Don't give them a second thought, and don't let them disturb what you know.
Don't let them harsh you mellow.
Exactly.
Don't let them harsh you mellow.
So there's another really cool thing, and I called a psychic self-defense kit. And I'm going to put the crystals underneath the camera one at a time.
All right.
And I'd like you to just first, before I do that, kind of ground and center yourself and open your awareness to this protection, right? So the first crystal in the kit is, of course, black tourmaline. That has always been part of a psychic self-defense kit. The next crystal in the kit is carnelian. And when you see those two together, they do create a really interesting energy.
It's quite an interesting vibe just seeing the two of them, the two together, how they sort of like, because carnelian wishes to embrace and black tourmaline wishes to draw the line.
If we think about it, we have this kind of grounding, protecting energy, that would be a force field.
Mm.
And then you also have this energy, which is attraction. So now you're allowed to attract all good things, right? The next crystal in the kit is amethyst. So I'm going to point that in. Right? And now that adds another dynamic in there. And again, you can see these are rough and tumbled stones. You could use whatever your preference is, mix and match, doesn't matter. And the last crystal is chlorite, and another name for it is garden quartz. And we'll talk about names in a minute. But now this is primarily known as a psychic self-defense kit. Black tourmaline, carnelian, amethyst, and chlorite. So here we kind of find energies of 4 elements. There's grounding. Oh, I want to keep still there, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, you can touch the thing. You're allowed to work the controls.
Grounding, which is like an earthy energy. There's a fiery energy. There's a communication energy, and a water energy and an air energy. So we have our crystals divided by the 7 chakras. And then there's another chakra called transpersonal point, which is the conductor. So have a really good look and perceive the energy from this little psychic self-defense kit and see what happens when I add a conducting stone to it. That's copper.
She's throwing a bit of copper right in the middle, look.
This, as Emerald Lagasse would say, has just kicked it up a notch. Holy Hector. So you can use conducting stones to make the other stones work harder. Like I have another conducting stone here called Pyrite.
We'll stick that one over there. Look at this one.
So that stone is really good at conducting energy. So any of the metals that you're going to find are going to be this kind of transpersonal point or crown chakra energy that help the other crystals to work harder. So, you know, there are kind of exceptions to every rule. For example, Galena is lead.
We'll go back to the camera.
Galena is lead, and that might not be so conductive.
Could be. It's when you think about it. You know, when you go for an X-ray or whatever, they're going to cover you up with lead, the bits that they don't want to irradiate, and they're going to stand behind this really great big lead screen to take the shot. So that actually Galena will ground out some really strong, and you can pick. It is the most amazingly grounding stone.
Right. So you could kind of look like that Galena to be Earth Star. Certainly not soul star energy, because crown chakra is our connection to spirit. And above that, we have a chakra called transpersonal point, or in modern times, they're now calling it soul star.
Earth star and soul star.
Soul star. So as above, soul star. So below, earth star. All right. Here's the next really cool crystal I wanted to talk about for a few minutes, which is
I'll put that on
selenite. It is naturally fiber optic. This stone is primarily used for cleansing other crystals. So people have been getting really big bars of selenite and then putting their other crystals on it. So just like with herbs,
yeah, it's got an H. Herbs.
Folk names change over time.
Oh, they do.
So the Latin name is the one that you can count on to know what the herb is that you're looking for in a recipe, right?
Tends to be very descriptive, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, over time, different herbs have been known by 3 or 4 names, right? So Queen of the Meadow, Joe Pye Weed, Gravel Root.
Johnny Jump Up.
No,
I think,
not Johnny Jump Up.
Isn't that? There's a whole bunch of them for the same thing. Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 names. So we've noticed that also trending. Gilda's saying something here.
She sleeps with selenite every night.
Oh.
Just watch that, because it can flake off and they get little sharp pieces.
How can you tell if something is dyed?
Oh, well.
Well, you can tell straight off if the color doesn't look natural. Or if you ask the person who's selling it, is this dyed?
And they go, what do you mean? There's
And
probably
it
a
probably
clear
is.
indication. One of the classic examples, and the most example, is turquoise. And we haven't got any dyed stuff to show. We should have done this. Show and tell. There you go. Slap on the wrist for Anton and Lisa for lack of preparation here. There's we all have heard of turquoise. Turquoise is a beautiful, beautiful stone, and there's an awful lot of stuff sold as turquoise which isn't.
Well, turquoise, there is no market. There is no source for it right now, so they've started to dye howlite.
Certainly not American turquoise. That's the stuff that's
They're calling it
classically.
Turcanite.
So yeah, there's a lot of people who are vaguely honest calling it turcanite. It's dyed howlite. And it is so ridiculously bright turquoise blue with the veins in it, which makes it look there. But it feels totally different. It's one of the giveaways is specific density, which is down to molecular weight. And you can tell this where you pick up like quartz and glass. Although glass is made from fused quartz sand, there's a difference to it. You can actually, if you pick it up, you can sense the weight, you can sense the energy in it. And it's something that you do more and more and more of. You get more and more accustomed. You can pick a stone. Lisa can tell a stone before she even looks at it.
Well, that's a story I'll tell in a minute, but I don't want to get too far away from my name thing that I was trying to talk about.
Right. So come back to that.
All of these herbs have been given all these different folk names over time. And now again, it seems to be this wave of renaming crystals. Right? So there's a stone called Orbicular Jasper.
We got some of that.
I thought I did bring some.
Here
it is.
There you go. All right.
It's a stone called Orbicular Jasper.
Put it right down on the floor if you're going to do that. Otherwise, it's too close.
They won't be able to see it on the tablecloth. So this Orbicular Jasper has now become known as Ocean Jasper. And the other day, somebody came in and had a third name for it, which I don't remember. So it's going to be harder and harder for us if people don't do their little research first. We're going to have to Google and figure out what it is that they mean. So Orbicular Jasper. And we keep this in Heart Center. So the other thing I wanted to talk about are shapes of crystals. People will come in and say, which is better? Which is better, rough or tumble? Do I get more energy from rough or tumble?
Excuse me.
Well, now this is two different stones. The rough one that I have here is Peruvian Amazonite, and the tumbled one is aquamarine. But you can see that they're very similar in energy. These are both heart chakra stones because heart chakra has green and pink stones in it. And it's really preference. So this stone, Amazonite, is a feldspar. And then we have this stone, which is Moonstone, which is also a feldspar. And this happens to be an orthoclased feldspar. Right? Pink peach moonstone is an orthoclased feldspar. So when people come in and ask for rainbow moonstone, or they ask for a moonstone and they're looking for rainbow moonstone isn't a feldspar like Amazonite or regular moonstone. Rainbow moonstone is a spectrolite, one of the spectrolite family, which I happen to have one of the more popular spectrolites here.
Ticazite.
No, Labradorite.
Oh, Labrador. I couldn't tell from here. See, I've got this big light in the eye.
Yeah, it's a little hard.
It's quite tricky to tell.
So Labradorite has all of the color spectrum in it. So I don't know if you're getting any of that. But
I love
crazy
Labradorite.
Yellows and beautiful blue flames in there. Anton wants a stone circle of Labradorite. Now, believe it or not, we would put Labradorite in base chakra. It's a very heavy, very grounding stone. And there's another spectrolite that we would call pearl spar. that has now been called Black Moonstone, and
Iceland spar.
No, I got an Iceland spar here.
Oh, Iceland spar is more like your optical calcite then.
Yeah, that's an
All
Iceland
right.
spar. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
This one's got a pink tint to it. This is for memory. This one. So what I wanted to talk about a little bit were shapes and intentions,
Okay.
right? Like this is a worry stone, and it has an indentation that fits your thumb, and these are only $5, and this one's rose quartz, so these are my stresses and heart worries. Now this is an amazing quartz point. Very good to hold in your hand, and direct energy, as if you were moving it. You can move it in a spiral. You could, write intentions out with it. Direct energy, point energy, charge other crystals. Now, I also have that same stone in a heart shape. Wonderful to have. But when you're picking a stone, don't just look is it rough or tumbled. Look at it also as the shape it's in, right? What was the intention when that happened, right? Is it naturally formed into a point that you could use like a laser? Is it meant to soothe and calm the emotions? I have one of my Reiki tools here that I want to show you.
Okay.
Okay.
Where are we doing that?
Just right here. I'm just going to show you. It's a scoop, right? So if you're doing Reiki and you come across something that needs to be cut out, do your reverse shogure and use the crystal. Scoop it out. Get rid of it, right? So this is a giant one, but you could be looking for a much smaller one that you could use in the same way.
Quartz, what an amazing crystal. I could tell you some things about quartz.
All right.
We could.
So I have a few spleen
Some more.
chakra
Show and tell time.
stones here.
All right, let's go over to them. All righty
So you
now.
can do that's Muggle.
This is Muggle stone, yes. This one here, which is kind of cool and wonderful. We like
So
that.
that's a bunch of
Oh, that's
jaspers.
Mookote. That's
Mookite.
Mookite.
Sorry,
even.
bunch of jaspers, and there's no hematite in that one. Wonder why, haha.
Aha. Oh, that's nice.
Sunstone.
Oh, that's a gorgeous piece of sunstone.
So you could use sunstone for the god and moonstone for the goddess.
Oh, excuse us.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Now, if we're talking about spleen chakra stones, what's that green one doing?
I don't know. Why's that one in there? Do tell.
It's bloodstone.
Ah,
Physical body.
another name for bloodstone.
It's hematite, but that's not hematite.
That's not hematite. No,
Right.
yes.
Well, it was called hema because hemoglobin, right?
Well,
So
the iron bit of there.
You've got to do your research. But yeah, bloodstone is really good for circulation and physical body. So we would not put that necessarily in heart center. It is good for your heart circulation, but it's not an emotional stone. It's a physical body stone, right? So you got to just keep up on things.
Show and tell. If you guys have got questions, please do ask away. All right, your camera then.
All right. So now these are heart center stones. This is a rough rose quartz. And then these two stones, people always mix them up. Let's see if I put them on the white. Maybe you can see them a little better.
You want a white bit of paper?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. So these stones people always confuse. One is Rhodonite, and the other is Rhodochrosite. And how I remember is Rhodonite, dark as night. Rhodochrosite only has white. So that they're kind of a balancing energy in heart center. And I love rose quartz. I mean, we have a whole cabinet just dedicated to rose quartz.
We got a few bits and bobs of rose quartz, that's for sure. Yes, we do. As Lisa says, we have how many? 100 and whatever.
130. Well, more than 130 different crystals.
Different kinds of crystals. That's different kinds.
So we decided to sort them by chakra because if somebody's looking for grounding, focusing, protection, base chakra stones. If somebody's looking for physical body energy, healing in that way, spleen chakra stones. If they're looking for something for their willpower or their confidence, solar plexus stone. Emotional stuff, pink and green, heart chakra. Communication and creativity, the blue stones, third chakra. Psychic intuition, the indigo, kind of lavendery, lapis, those kind of things. Third eye stones. And then spiritual connections, spiritual work, astral travel, that kind of thing, crown chakra.
So would it be fair to say there's almost like a rule of thumb as the color of the crystal can sort of put it in the chakra?
Absolutely, but there are always exceptions.
Aren't there always exceptions?
Right? So howlite that you were talking about earlier, howlite is white. So if you had no idea and you were just sorting your rocks and you didn't know what they did, you'd probably put howlite with the crown chakra stones because it's white. And then if you had no idea what things did and you had Tectite that's black, you'd probably put that in base chakra, but it's anything but grounding.
No, it's
it might be considered
anything but
base
grounding.
chakra of the upper world, but it's certainly not base chakra for you there.
You should see it when Lisa sticks one of those on her forehead.
Gone for a while.
What about anxiety? What stones for anxiety? We've got lots of stones.
Well, lepidolite is probably the best one because lithium makes it purple. And anxiety does start in the mind and heart. So if you took lepidolite and rose quartz, I don't have lepidolite here.
Do we have any unitite though? I don't think we do. That's
No, I just took a small cross section. I don't know how long we'd have.
Right.
So you have the grounding and centering stones that are primarily the really dark colored stones. Like I have here 2 grounding stones that you wouldn't necessarily think about. Garnet and ruby.
Oh gosh, and these are very physical stones.
Yeah.
I know that. I love these.
So these are very much grounding, focusing, base chakra kind of energy. Where some people might go ahead and put ruby in heart center, So again, it's a very subjective subject, and be guided by your intuition. But there are things that you should pay attention to: mineral content, color, things like that.
Especially as I said, but this is only a very brief introduction. I mean, you can talk about making elixirs, but we're typically talking about just physical contact with a crystal,
Right,
carrying
holding it,
with
sleeping
you,
with it, carrying it, making grids,
little
that kind of
medicine bag, that sort of stuff, rather than any specialist use of it. Okay, so one of the stones that I personally recommend, apart from lepidolite for anxiety, Sparky, a great stone I find is unakite. We all too often pick up baggage that doesn't belong to us,
and we forget to
we schlep it around with us, and we're running around trying to think, how can I make everything right? And really sometimes you shouldn't be trying to do that. And I think that's where an awful lot of, strangely enough, anxiety can actually stem from that need to, feel almost like I'm out of control and I can't fix this and it needs to be fixed. And it makes you very anxious as a result of that. And I think all of us, to a lesser or greater degree, no matter how grounded and centered we are, to all of us to a lesser degree, we all encounter circumstances which disturb us, that we want to make right, but we don't have it's outside of the remit of our control or our sphere of influence or whatever. And I think that is where it really gets difficult for a lot of people. And that can be the root cause of anxiety. A lot of people don't realize that. What helps there, particularly with unakite, is it's a stone that kind of very subtly communicates to you, this is not your fault, okay? You do not need to take responsibility for this. You do not need to carry it around like a badge of office.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Exactly. Yeah. You can leave it at the lost and found, return it to the universe. Its energy, it can be transformed into something useful and very positive, and not sort of eat at you. So I would counsel a piece of unakite as a really good thing. It's a lovely stone in itself, just to hold it.
Make a medicine bag. And unakite is great. Lepidolite is great. Rose quartz is great. And then maybe you do want a piece of black tourmaline for protection if you're empathic, or a piece of clear quartz in there to see things clearly so you don't glob onto them.
So glad you brought up clear quartz. I said we could tell you loads about clear quartz. So what if you can only afford one crystal? I've got $3 or $4. That's all I've got to my name. What crystal should I buy? I want one that does everything.
Clear quartz is the magician's stone. It is like the rosemary or full moon energy. it can become any other crystal. So if you only can afford or you only have access to clear quartz, my friend, is magic.
Oh, it is magic. Here's some things you don't know about clear quartz, but we're going to tell you anyway. It is an amazing stone. First off, it oscillates at a frequency of 32,000.
You keep talking, I'm just setting up your next
okay. 32,768 times a second, which is 2 to the power of 13. It's that accurate you can set a watch by it. Oh, hang on a minute. They do. They have quartz oscillators that you can actually set a watch by that run a watch. So Sparky Stone is a super chat.
Oh,
thank you. That's really generous. Thank you. We appreciate that greatly. So, So we've got clear quartz is also piezoelectric. What do you mean by that? It means if you compress it and release the energy really quickly, it will create an electrical current, a piezoelectric discharge. It was the basis of the first. You remember those lighters that used to click and they click?
Oh, like a zippo?
Yeah, click. Not a zip, no, but click, not a flint, where you actually click, and it hits a crystal and it creates a thing. Quartz was a pre-runner of the piezoelectric lighters. Here's something else with it. With just a piece of copper wire and a quartz crystal, you can create a radio set. And, stretching and moving the coils or moving the quartz within the coil, you can actually tune the radio. Seriously. It's so much of an energy-directing crystal.
So it's silicon dioxide, right?
It is silica dioxide. So it's like a SiO2 is the
mineral
silicon
content.
dioxide. You're right, not silica. Silica is actually where it is the mineral.
Gem silica is
exactly. So it's silicates have got silicon in them. Yeah. Anyway, it's a very prolific
every grain
stone.
of sand.
Yeah, every grain of sand on the beach is probably will you stop that? Come on, it's all right with that. So, for some obscure reason, my computer decided it just wanted to go to sleep at that point, which is very convenient because we're trying to work out what we're doing here. So yeah, quartz. If you can't do anything else, it can be programmed. And now I've come across people, I've met them in the store, and I honestly have an open mind, so I can't say that how do you know you're not telling the truth. But I've met people who say, listen, quartz crystals can be programmed with all manner of information. And they can read, read that information. And I personally cannot. I haven't got the wherewithal, or I haven't learned that.
You just haven't quieted your mind enough to hear it.
That's probably very true. I have a very noisy mind, just in case.
There are definitely quartz record keepers. That's the Atlantean and Lemurian information is stored in there, and who knows what other things are stored in the quartz.
She says that, and you think, oh, what a hokey dokey tree hugging metaphysical concept. It's scientific. So, like, they're talking about, the data is exploding on this planet right now. I mean, just think about the data that we're creating right now with 3 cameras and all that sort of stuff. And you notice the higher resolution photographs you take, you need more data to put them on. For my little drone, I've actually got a 1 terabyte card to go in there. So data's exploding. But, you think about what you can fit in a space. And the very first hard drive that I had for the very first computer that I had was an Atari Mega 4 ST, and I had a Megafile 30, which is 30 megabyte hard drive. The thing sounded like Concorde taken off it. It was ridiculous. I still got it. It still works. But nowadays, we're into terabytes. I can't even say. Not terabytes, but, with a PT and all that. Petabytes.
Rein in the crazy.
No.
And come back to the crystals.
No, I'm coming back to the crystals. But they reckon the newest field of research indicates that crystalline storage is the next medium for dumping unbelievable amounts of data into it, unbelievable amounts of data. And they're actually working on that. And as we move into quantum computing and
the age
all
of
this,
Aquarius,
it's this, but so we come back to the quartz crystal again for that. And it's worth a read if you want to go on a tangent or what have you. If you've got like a little bit of a geeky mind, it's worth having a look at that. But yeah,
holes.
They actually do contain a massive information, or can be made to contain a massive information.
And again, there's that aspect of it, and there's also the holistic healing aspect, right? If there's minerals that the plants use to grow, and then the animals eat the plants, and we eat the animals and plants and minerals, they're going to get into our body.
I'm going to come back to this as well. I'm just going to get geeky on you for 2 seconds because I really want to say that. People always come in to us, and I love it when they ask me when I'm in the store I can do this because I can get me geek on. They say, well, how do crystals work? I say, well, it all comes down to energy. It all comes... Yeah, well, no, we do. We'll talk about that in a bit. That's one of the things that we like to do as well. Seldom get a chance to do it, but that's one of the things we like to do, or to remind me about that. But yeah, it all comes down to energy. We all have a susceptibility to energy, you know. We've walked in places and it ostensibly might look like the most beautiful place on earth. It's immaculately presented and it gives you the creeps. You go, oh, I don't like that. I want to get out of here. Another place you wouldn't, it might look a little bit ropey and, you know, creaky and not seeing better days. But you think, oh my God, this place feels so good.
Well, that's our store.
Yeah,
it's
it feels
very old and creaky and...
No, I think that's me. But it does. It's gotten into the fabric of the building, that energy, and we all have this susceptibility to energy. So, well, how can that work? How is that even scientifically possible? Hang on a minute. You know, remember cassette tape or tape? The first thing, you know, where they realized magnetic medium, you could align the polarity of these little bits of minerals by just putting energy onto it, and then you could play it back and you've got a record of what the hell went on. This is it. This is just energy applied to minerals. You know, it's ferric oxide, rust. Okay, it just by aligning those, the magnetic polarity on those, by applying energy to it, you've got it. That's it. It's so we are all influenced by energy, whether we realize it or not. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you can't disprove this because we've collected crystals and we've used crystals to a...
Oh, since the dawn of time.
Yeah,
People put bloodstone on the shield.
On the swords.
Look at the lapis jewelry and
jewelry
gold
and
jewelry.
Crown, you know?
Right,
what's
lapis, it's
about,
all this kind of upper energy. They knew.
So this connection with crystals is not a new thing. This is not new age. It's been around since time itself.
Yeah.
You know,
since people walked the earth and found a beautiful gem.
Exactly. And we will tell you you guys know what a Galilean thermometer is, yeah? You've seen them. I wish we had a picture to show you what a Galilean thermometer is. But
well, you can take these two things as your examples.
My 2 examples here. If you haven't seen a Galilean thermometer, what it is, it's like this wonderful, like, clear tube. And if we go back and edit this, I'll throw in a bit of B-roll on this. I'll find a picture of one and so you can see it. But it's this beautiful clear glass tube filled with liquid, and it has these little floating bubbles,
They're
little balls, like
colors,
little balls,
yeah.
little cores, and they're little tags on them. And what is depending, obviously, the density of the liquid within the thermometer changes with the temperature, and consequently will cause these floating baubles to either rise or sink based on the density of it. Aha! All Boyle's law there we're getting into, but never mind.
More science.
Temperature and pressure and all that fun stuff. And so anyway, so as the density changes, then these things float. And so what we love to do with people is say, imagine for a moment you're one of these little baubles floating in neutral buoyancy in this Galilean thermometer. You're perfectly safe, you can breathe, don't think you're going to drown or anything like that. And we say, so shut your eyes and just imagine yourself just hovering, floating in space. You know, you're not going up, you're not going down. And now with your eyes closed, hold out a hand. And what I love to do is like, right, now compared to you with your eyes closed, where's that going to wind up? You know, don't look at it. And we try to pick stones that weigh the same.
They can't see the color.
Yeah.
Right?
And the spooky thing is, they kind of gravitate to where they're supposed to belong in your body. And then he would say, now open your eyes and see what you've got. And we picked a similar sized piece and a similar weight. It's fun when you have time to do.
Right. In the class, we always talk about holding a hematite that is much smaller than a rose quartz. And the hematite will just go thud.
Yeah.
And the clear quartz, not rose quartz, the clear quartz will just be higher than your head.
And what's spooky about this is when you pull out a weighing scales and you show, like, this one weighs whatever, an ounce, this one weighs exactly an ounce, but this one felt heavier. Yeah, but it's not necessarily about the weight.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
All right, now
so we love that.
minerals
We love
can
to do-
also grow together.
Oh, we're going to go here now?
We're gonna go over
We're
here
going to
too.
go over here. All right.
And I'd like you to show them this Aventurine with Pyrite in it.
Aventurine with Pyrite. Well, let me see if I can get this.
This
You know what?
veins.
Let's do this. Let's turn your light on so I can give it a bit more wallop just here. All right. So you could probably see now there's some.
Sparkles in there. Sparklies.
How are we looking? Are we doing all right here? Are we?
You can see the line down here, definitely.
Yeah. I'm trying to see the little. There we go. I got a sparkle
Yeah.
there.
So this is green Aventurine, because Aventurine comes in all kinds of colors. This is not dyed, Aaron.
No.
But it does have veins of pyrite in it.
How cool is that?
And then-
Aventurine with Pyrite.
Yeah. The next one I'd like you to show is this one. 'Cause
Oh,
it's just
my, now.
off the hook.
He has got some serious tiger's eye.
This is
this is
yeah,
waiting here. Oh, there's a bit of
hematite
hematite there. Oh, it's
and-
Mugglestone, isn't it?
well, no, it doesn't have any jasper.
No Jasper.
It's just tiger's eye and
What's the-
hematite.
this is
Red
red tiger's
tiger's
eye
eye.
as well. Ah, so yeah, to make that Mugglestone, you'd have to have golden tiger's eye, red jasper, and hematite, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty
it's
close
just
to it. There's a redness there.
Hematite and tiger's eye. It's just so gorgeous.
Oh, look at that! Gotta love that one.
This
now where are we going?
Keep going there.
Keep going on here.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you just look at my hand model and be
no.
scary for a minute.
Look at this one. What do we think the black stone in that is?
Ooh, well, you're going to tell us because I know what it is, but I don't know.
This is called Dalmatian agate,
Yeah.
and that's black tourmaline.
It's black tourmaline in Dalmatian agate. Well, see, now I never knew that.
Look at that.
These must be really, really small, sort of crystalline before they really grow into the big crystals because black tourmaline is a very structured crystal. But I guess this is...
Scroll. S-C-O-R-L. Scroll.
Oh my gosh, no words. They're too technical for me. So this is kind of cool. I love that.
So
All right.
minerals can grow together, and very commonly quartz grows with tourmaline, and this is called tourmalated quartz.
Let's see if I can get a light underneath this ball here so we can actually see it.
Oh, you had it for a second.
Just
Lay
watch.
the phone right down.
We have to get under the thing and see if we can do it this way. I'll turn the thing around.
You can start to see, I suppose. Maybe
I got one little look at it.
you can see there's strands or strings or shards of tourmaline. So when you first glance at this ball, you think it's a black
You think it's
ball.
just a solid black ball,
Oh,
but
here's where it's coming. You can
just look at here. We got to. It's no good. Our eyes are in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So I've got to. Tell me which way I've got to turn here. Am
There
I
you
getting
go.
somewhere?
You
Oh,
can see that it's
somewhere.
clear quartz with tourmaline in it. Black tourmaline is. I'm known as the tourmaline queen.
Are you?
Yes, I in
I
fact
don't call
have
you
black. I have black tourmaline in each pocket right now because I carry normally about half a pound of stones with me every day. I walk the walk. The girls can tell where I am by the jingling.
If anybody tells you you've got too many stones, you don't need
Right.
that negativity. You can only have too many stones if you intend to swim a large body of water.
All right. So now I want to kind of focus on that Galilean thermometer kind of energy
Okay.
and focusing on a chakra. And
So we
Anton's
going
going to
here?
turn this camera on.
Yeah, there you go.
Where do you feel that energy? Do you feel that high up, low down, midway? And let yourself start to think about where you feel this energy. So we have aragonite, orange calcite, golden tiger's eye, Dalmatian agate, and citrine. And I've put them kind of in a little mandala, like a little sunburst pattern, right? So these are definitely solar plexus stones.
I see what you did there.
And again,
I know what you're going to do now.
you can make this energy pop even more
Let's.
by putting a conductor in the center, right? So this is copper. And if you were here, you could probably start to feel this hum.
So you could also use like a clear quartz point in the center, could you not?
I don't really have a clear quartz.
Like a little
point.
small
I just
enough one, yeah.
have this giant piece.
Yeah, he's a
But
bit
we
big,
could do
really,
a different configuration.
Oh, now we're making... Watch where you're pointing that. Don't point that at me!
You can just play around till it feels right. Kind of point them.
There you go. How cool is that?
This is one of my favorite.
Yeah, well, that's not for sale then.
No, this is
How much for the quill?
quartz.
That's mine.
We do have a whole back bar of quartz.
All right, I'm going to put this on the big camera.
Yeah, this is just my favorite because I've worked with it. You make the
Yeah,
stones
you get
your own.
attached. You get attached to your crystals, but truth is, you know, they're not really yours. You're just custodian with them for a short while.
Now,
You know.
let's just have a couple more to show, and then we'll talk about something else.
All right. What are you going to show? What are you going to show people now?
This is only one mineral, but people always
we're going here?
confuse it.
All right, we'll go here then. Oh, this is the same baby, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, you got a little bit of white paper there for me.
What's written on?
It doesn't matter if it's go underneath. We'll just do
Okay.
this so you could probably see it a little better then. I'm just going to move this.
Yeah,
out.
when I came in here today, I said, well, this tablecloth is not going to really be nice.
All right. Well, let's turn the light on so we give it a bit more wallop, and we'll see if we can see better now. Now, I don't know if you guys can see the incredible colours in this. I'm trying to get
So
it.
this is fluorite, and it fluoresces under black light.
Didn't bring a black light.
No. And it comes in a very dark purple color. And it's very confusing to people because the dark purple color they call amethyst fluorite. But it's fluorite.
It's certainly not amethyst, because amethyst is closer to
Right.
quartz than fluorite.
So
believe me.
fluorite comes in yellow, green, blue, purple.
Yellow is known as yttrium fluorite,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yttrium,
It's just
yeah.
really. Oh, we've got a whole cabinet of fluorite.
Yeah.
Well, we did have
Well, now we have the rose quartz and the fluorite have a cabinet together, all on their own.
fluorite. I just chuffing love fluorite, and we've got it in all manner of shapes and sizes. Let me turn the light off here. There we go.
Okay.
I'll try to anyway. There we go.
All right.
Got it. All right.
So now, okay, wonderful. We've got our crystals and we're using them, and now one of those energy vampire people comes along and comes over to our desk at work where we've got our beautiful black tourmaline because we want to repel the vampires.
Oh,
And
what's this?
They pick it up and they say, "What's this?"
Magical contagion there. That's what we're
Magical
talking.
contagion. They have now globbed their oogies onto your magical tool. There are some crystals that you never need to clean, which are kyanite,
Black kyanite particularly, yeah.
citrine.
Yep.
In fact, I keep a blue kyanite for communication in with my tarot cards to help them stay clean, right? Citrine, kyanite, and there's one other, and I can't remember it right now. I think it's selenite. Because selenite is the cleanser, right? So you could do like a Mr. Clean kind of thing. Right? Magical.
You're going to go, oh no, that can't possibly work. Okay, here, geeky people, you've got a screwdriver and you've got a screw that keeps falling off. You take a magnet and you stroke down your screwdriver with your magnet. The screwdriver itself becomes magnetized. Do not tell me you cannot transfer energy, okay?
Right.
So you can cleanse energy and clear energy that's gotten stuck with another crystal. You absolutely can.
If you have Reiki, you can use Shokure reversed counterclockwise.
We should do that
And
with
then
all our
do
food. Take the calories
Shokure,
out.
take the calories out. Shokure clockwise to put your energy back in, Reiki energy back in, right? Or you could use the 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air.
Well, how would you do that then?
So you could have an incense, and the smoke could be your air. You could have a candle, right? And the flame is your fire. We have some wonderful chalice well water.
Oh, aren't you jammy?
I am jammy. Jenna Tellinger brought it back from me.
We don't sell that, I'm afraid. No.
But you could make sea salted water. So you could take the sea salt and put it into water. So that's your earth and water, your feminine energy. And then you could count the incense as fire and air, your masculine energy. Or you could use sage, right? And you can do kind of by the power of the elements 4, negativity shall be no more. But then you always want to go back and bless or charge the crystals again to kind of put energy back in. You don't just want to blank them and leave them blank, so to speak. And I do have sage stick here that has some lavender in it, so it's a very high vibration You could just use that if that spoke to you.
In fact, when you come in and buy crystals at the store, when we pack them up to take them away, we put a little sage and
lavender in there.
Because obviously they've got, other people's stuff on them. People have touched them, and it's nice for them to be like cleared out, and then you can take them.
That beautiful lavender garden out front, and the big lavender blooms 2 or 3 times a year, and we harvest that, and then we put a little bit of the shop kind of energy. The shop ground's going to go into the crystals. Yeah, we always package them with sage and lavender.
People are like, okay, what are you doing? What's all that?
So you could just use sage if you wanted and smudge them. I don't like to use that word smudge because I don't want to get into the
cultural appropriation things.
You could cleanse them with the smoke of the sage.
Exactly.
Or if you really just want to soak them, you could soak them in sea salted water. But I want people to be mindful not to really leave them in the water. Something like selenite is very soft. And if you left that for a couple days in sea salted water, it would be jello.
Yeah.
Another great cleansing is sunlight, moonlight.
Yep.
So obviously we're coming for the new moon. We're going to talk about that in a bit, but you have my paper.
You can have it back now. Here you go. I'll pass you your paper back.
But you could do sunlight, moonlight if you wanted. Full moonlight obviously is better, but maybe you're doing a specific spell and you want when the moon is waxing, or you're doing a specific spell and you want when the moon is waning. So you're not limited to just charging the stone at a full moon. Cleansing the stone at a full moon is a great idea, but you could charge it with any kind of moonlight, depending on what you're working on.
Yes,
you could look up the astrology of where the moon is and get that moon's energy to bring in the astrology for the spell that you want. Layers, 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 okay? But this is just a Crystal 101.
Oh.
We're just talking about going in someplace.
We're going to be here till Thursday if we just really got...
Going in someplace, finding the crystal that's right for you, and being able to take care of it, right? You go in, you think, where do I find an imbalance? I want something to work here to balance. And how do I get, cleanse it? Because it's going to take all this pain and suffering, and I need to get the pain and suffering off. So one of the elements, sunlight, moonlight, Reiki, or selenite, a cleansing crystal.
So you could get your advice from TikTok, or... Or if you prefer, you could give us a call. You can either come in, or everybody, our crazy little dysfunctional magical family at the store, we are blowing our own trumpet a little bit. We know a little bit about crystals. We've been doing it a while. We're not going to feed you complete vapor, bull. We're not going to blow smoke up your bum, so to speak. We're going to tell you what you need to know. There's no such thing as a stupid question. People respect people's confidentiality as well. If you've got an awkward thing that you want a little bit of advice about, not psychic advice here, there's a whole different animal there, but is there something I could carry with me? Is there something I could do to help me with this particular situation? That's what we love people to come and ask us. And really, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Ask me, you're like, going to get a stupid answer because I'm flippant like that, but no, there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Right. So
do ask.
Yeah, people will come in and they say, "Well, I want to get a stone for my friend. She really needs a crystal." Well, I say, "Okay, what is some of her issues?" And they might describe something that has to do with lack of confidence, self-esteem, whatever. So we'll take her to the solar plexus cabinet, and we'll say, "Okay, stand here." And focus on your friend. Think about your friend. Meditate on your friend. And when you open your eyes, what's the first thing you're drawn to? That's her crystal. So we'll help people that way. Or they may come in with a crystal and be like, "What does this stone do?" I tell them, "Well, have you asked it?" "What?" Talk to the rock. Like Ilda said, sleep with it. Let it talk to your subconscious. Meditate with it. Put it on your third eye. Ask it what it does. Feel it. Where does it resonate? Where does it end up? What chakra does it work with? You can trust yourself for some of this information.
You absolutely can.
But again, one of the best crystal books that we know right now, and we have just got in a huge order. We have 50 of these.
Yeah, we got only 50.
Yeah, we've sold 10 in the last week. Well, because it was
We just got
ho-ho.
3 cases in like a few days.
No, it was ho-ho time. So
Okay, well, fair enough.
But really, how much was it? $21.99? Can you see, or less?
It says 17. No, that's 17.95 US. That's 20.95 Canada. This may be an old version. I think it's gone up.
I think it's $21.90. I think it's $21.99, like $22.
Right. I think this has gone up.
Oh,
I
this
think
is an
this
old
is
version.
an old
Okay.
old copy. So
But again, this is a fantastic book because you can look by color. My daughter brought me home this purple stone. What is it? I'll find the purple section. Yeah.
I don't know if Jen's watching us at the store. Just drop in on the chat and let us know how much the crystal handbook is. It's the complete crystal handbook. Excellent book. Strongly recommend it. And as we said, that ability to look up a crystal by color, because it's going to take you a while to learn
Memorize
all the names.
all these names.
And besides, there's umpteen different names for crystals as well, which makes life that little bit
Do
more.
you have Hooby Dooby-ite?
Yeah, got any
I wonder what that is.
It's all over TikTok, no doubt.
Yeah.
I love the, you
And
know,
it
you're
tells
saying
me
about.
it can eat a psychic vampire. Okay.
Yes.
No, we don't mean to make fun. We're happy
No.
that people are interested in what we do.
Yes.
The age of Aquarius is waking people up all over, and they're looking for things to heal themselves, mind, body, spirit. We're very happy that it's becoming popular. It's just that there's an ethical part of this that is
Well, yeah,
kind of
first do
distressing,
no
right?
harm kind of thing, isn't it? You know, and so you can trust us for the information that we're going to provide for you.
We will do our best.
We if we don't know, we're going to say, hey, I don't know. I've honestly never heard of that. I mean, I'm willing to give it a go and look it up and see what I can find.
And trust your intuition. It will speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
I do have witness for this story. Lee was with me at the time, and a little old man came in with a velvet sack. And he said, young lady, I've been told that you do stone identification. And he handed me the sack, and I said, turquoise. Well, I haven't opened the bag yet. Okay. Turquoise. And he just went, thank you. Put it back in the bag and left.
Oh, spookiness. Yeah, no.
But trust yourself, trust yourself, and you'll be surprised. If you do want to test your intuition a little bit, take a bag of crystals that you don't know, right?
That's so
that you
good.
don't know,
What have I
that one
got?
with the little chunk out is my Moonstone.
Oh, yeah,
You
I
know,
recognize that one.
Mix
too.
up a bag of crystals and then pick one and hold it and think,
Where
where
does
do
this
I
go?
feel this?
Do the Galilean Thermometer thing. Where's it going, you know? If you can ping it to its chakra, you're halfway there,
Yeah.
more than halfway there at that point. You know?
And again, the rule of thumb is the color of the mineral dictates the chakra it goes in, but there are exceptions to every rule.
Always.
Bloodstone is green, it's really a spleen. Howlite is white, it's really base. Tectite is black, it's really crown. So, use your intuition, but also use your scientific logic.
Yes, and play. You know, the rocks love to be touched and caressed and held and nurtured and loved and yeah. So Tamagotchi all over again, pet rock, but a real one this time, not a.
I'm just saying that was the beginning of the age of Aquarius. Those pet rock things, wasn't it?
That's it. We love it. We love it, and so that's So that's probably all we're going to do on crystals. Otherwise, we'll be here till Thursday.
Right. Well,
won't
black
we?
tourmaline, we really do love black
It's
tourmaline,
a
and we loved
great
carnelian.
protection zone. Yep.
And Moldavite, I takes me out of my body. I can only do that in tiny doses.
I know, and it's also, the cynic in me thinks there was an element of pump and dump on the Moldavite kind of thing there.
There's a lot of fake.
Control the world's supply of it and then generate a demand for it.
Right, there's a
which
ton
is-
of fake Moldavite out there now that's
There
just
is.
really is glass.
Love,
So
you bought a piece of
again,
plastic.
it's very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple people have come in and said, "Oh, look, I got this for blah blah blah."
It's only
We're like,
$40. And it's like you bought a piece of
no,
plastic.
it's probably
there.
plastic.
It is plastic.
So just be mindful.
Banging
of-
against your teeth.
Yeah, be mindful of what you're buying. Anyway, so that's our little
Anyway.
crystal segment.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, because watching actually helps us. Just by you watching us.
That costs you nothing except time.
It helps us and our, we want the algorithm to go, oh, people are interested in these people. So more people get to see what we're about. And so we get to bring about what it is we're trying to do and understand we're working for good here. We're not just trying to line our pot. Oh, I fancy a new Ferrari or a new business jet,
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind actually, but there are more important
That's
things.
not the point.
There are more important things. So thank you. You guys are helping us.
Catch up with us on Wednesday at 7.
Please do like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Throw us a comment after this is finished as well, because that really does help too. So thank you, and
Peace and blessings.
yeah, well, I guess we're going to leave it there and go forth, come fifth, and win a cup at this point.
We've been on for an hour and a half, I think.
Oh well, I think it's probably about time for breakfast.
Thank you.
Lina,
Please.
I don't know. Bye for now. Have an amazing day.